Hello everyone, and welcome to In the Park, your source for news and entertainment in Lincoln Park Performing Arts Charter School.
We're your hosts. I'm Camille Kerr, and
I'm Eli Lishak.
due to COVID-19 restrictions, we'll be filling in for the park's regular hosts, staying socially distanced and staying away from the studio. We hope this show is able to give you segments to show you how Lincoln Park is approaching the pandemic and ways to keep you in the loop. We'll also be giving you a look at Tino Time, a lighthearted look into Lincoln Park and all its secrets.
Let's start today with an interview with Dr. Rogers. She has led our extensive COVID-19 mitigation efforts, and we wanted to ask a few questions about what enrollment looks like this year.
During the pandemic, what has the Lincoln Park student body done that you found most inspiring?
I think the biggest thing is just overall the students rising to the occasion. This hasn't been easy on anybody. It's been especially hard on students. Not being able to come to school on a regular basis and see your peers, and sometimes being remote for long periods of time, like we've been in most recently, that's very difficult. It's very hard to get motivated, get up, and kind of look at a computer all day and take your classes. But overall, our students are actually doing extremely well. I give credit to our teachers for making things as engaging as humanly possible. But a lot of that, again, there's more to school than sometimes just the education. The kids willing to rise above these adverse circumstances, still attend class and get their education. That's the most inspiring thing, definitely.
How is Lincoln Park conducting enrollment this year, and how can students sign up?
So the enrollment seminars right now are fully online. And the way that we've done it this year is we put a Google form on the website. So parents and students alike are allowed to look at the website, explore more about their major, and then they submit a form. From this form, it'll collect their name, their grade, a little bit of background information, and specifically the department that they're interested in and when they would like to attend an enrollment seminar. From there, Mrs. Jonas emails them a Zoom link for a live enrollment seminar via Zoom. And the way we've done those enrollment seminars is they're broken down by department. So for example, the music department hosts one, the dance department hosts one, so on and so forth. Within the department meetings, the director first welcomes everybody, then plays an overall video that Mr. Poling and myself created, just kind of giving an overview of the school, the academic programs and things like that. We then play a video that Mr. Kagio created that gives a virtual tour of the school. It's not a replacement for a live in-person tour, but we definitely still wanted people to be able to see the facilities because we know that's a very important part of the enrollment seminars. So we have that video. And then from there, the directors, again, open up to a live session. They go over what the evaluation process is for their specific major, and they answer any questions that parents may have. During those sessions, Mr. Poling and I jump into all of them as well and answer any questions for the general school or academic programs too. After that, there's another form that they will fill out, and that's actually the application form. So the application has been a little bit extended this year because what we're doing is we're collecting submissions of work or performances up front. All of the evaluations are going to be virtual given everything that's gone on. So instead of in years past, where on your evaluation date, you would dance and then be evaluated. Instead, you're actually going to submit a video of you performing whatever the directors wanted to have happen. For media, you guys usually submit a work portfolio, but you do it obviously on that day. In this case, you would actually be submitting your pieces of work up front. On your actual evaluation day, it'll be another Zoom session, but it'll just be you, your director, your parent, and an academic teacher. And the academic teacher will discuss the exact courses that you'll need in the way of academics. And the director will ask any follow-up questions that they have regarding your portfolio. Maybe they need a little bit more information from you, anything along those lines. So the major difference regarding the evaluations, aside from them not being in person, is you're actually able to record yourself. So for people that sometimes struggle with the live performances in the moment, this could actually be a little bit helpful for them.
And Dr. Rogers, one more question. Any advice for someone thinking about enrolling at Lincoln Park?
Yeah, my advice would be if you're interested in the arts, definitely enroll. Don't let everything that's gone on this year deter you from it. Again, if you're interested in the arts, Lincoln Park is the school for you. So, the enrollment process in itself on an annual basis can be a little bit daunting this year, especially. Maybe, people are a little bit less familiar with things like Google Forms or less familiar with doing things online, making video submissions. But we're here to work with you. The directors have reached out to a bunch of families thus far to help them out with the evaluation process. And Mrs. Jonas is here, myself, I'm here. Anybody's really here to help you through that. So don't let the process deter you, because again, if you're in your education, you really want a schooling tied to the arts, you need to be at Lincoln Park.
Thank you, Dr. Rogers, and make sure to tell your friends to get cracking, because enrollment is happening now. Here's a link.
Well, after that, I'm getting kind of hungry.
What about that made you hungry?
Anyways, we're going to move on to Delta's segment, Delta's Quarantine Cooks. Today, Delta will be teaching us how to make vegan mac and cheese.
Hello, and welcome to Quarantine Cooks. I'm your host, Delta Daly, and today I will be showing you how to make a delicious and creamy baked mac and cheese, made entirely from plants. That's right, no animal products are needed to make this indulgent and comforting baked mac and cheese. This recipe will soon become a new favorite for novice and experienced cooks alike. Here's what you'll be needing. The first ingredient you'll be needing is 16 ounces of your favorite macaroni, noodle, or shell. I'm using gluten-free today. The next ingredient for this recipe is 2 cups of soaked cashews. You'll want to soak the cashews for 4 to 8 hours to help soften up the cashews. This is going to create a creamy base for our vegan cheese, or any other nut milk of your choice. Just make sure it's unsweetened because you don't want the added sugar in your mac and cheese recipe. Next, you'll need 1 cup of nutritional yeast. This ingredient is responsible for giving our mac and cheese its cheesy flavor. Next ingredient is a half a cup of breadcrumbs. I'm using gluten-free today to make this recipe gluten-free, but regular breadcrumbs work too. Then you'll need 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. Yes, we are putting mustard in our mac and cheese. And then 1 tablespoon of vegan butter. Second to last, you'll want a few spices, which will include 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of salt, a half teaspoon of chili powder, and a half teaspoon of smoked paprika. Regular paprika works too if you don't have smoked. And then lastly, you'll need 1 tablespoon of thyme. I'm using fresh, but dried works too. The first step to making this mac and cheese is bringing a large pot of water to a boil and preheating your oven to 375 degrees. While the water is boiling, I'm going to drain my cashews. Time to bust out that food processor you bought that one Black Friday. You never use. It's been sitting in your basement. Go get it. Food processor. That's how we're going to be making our delicious vegan cheese sauce. We're going to get those cashews you saw me just drain. Put them right into the food processor. Awesome. Then you're going to add 2 cups of milk out of your 3 cups. 2, not 3, 2. And then you can add your 1 cup of nutritional yeast. And then your spices. And then your Dijon mustard. If you're using regular noodles that aren't gluten-free, cook your noodles for 7 minutes. Since I'm using gluten-free today, I'm going to cook for only 5 minutes. Here we go. Whoa! Once your noodles has cooked for either 5 minutes or 7 minutes, depending on if you're using gluten-free or not, it's ready to drain. Once your noodles are drained, you can transfer them to a baking dish. Alright, secure your food processor. Make sure it's plugged in, turn it on, and blend on high. This is going to get a little loud in here. The cheese sauce is going to be a little chunky, so we're going to add that last cup of almond milk to make it runny and smooth. But don't worry, it's going to thicken up when we bake in the oven. Let's put that lid back on. Blend again for another minute or 2 till it's nice and smooth. Once your cheese sauce is smooth and runny, you're ready to pour it in with your noodles. You pour your cheese sauce into your noodles. Make sure to stir in the cheese with your noodles so they're all coated. Now we can get ready to start on the breadcrumb topping. Start with heating 1 tablespoon of vegan butter on a medium pan. Once your butter is melted, you can add in your half cup of breadcrumbs. I'm using gluten-free. And then your 1 tablespoon of thyme. You'll know the breadcrumb topping is ready when the breadcrumbs are browned and the thyme is fragrant. When the breadcrumbs are done, turn off the heat and then you can transfer the breadcrumbs over to your mac and cheese. Just sprinkle on top. Now your mac and cheese is ready to go in the oven for about 10 minutes. It's a little hot in there. Ooh. See you in 10 minutes. When your mac and cheese is done cooking, you can take it out of the oven because that's what you do when something is done cooking. And that's how you make a baked vegan mac and cheese. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you tune in to the next episode of Quarantine Cooks. Bye!
Now I'm hungry too.
Told you so.
Whatever. Anyways, now let's take a look at Alex's tech tips. She'll be guiding us through some online schooling techniques to keep you on the top of your game.
Hi, I'm Alexandra, and I'm bringing you some tech tips to help you with your streaming quality. Since many of us are currently at home doing school virtually, you might run into some technical difficulties that make you want to rip your hair out. However, these tech tips will help you with your streaming quality and how you look on your stream. So let's get started. The first tip may be quite simple, but might help you with your internet issues. So what you're going to do is unplug the back, wait 30 seconds, and plug it back in. If this tip didn't help you, then I have another tip for you. Go to your computer and click the internet symbol in the corner of your computer. Select your network and go into Properties. Once you are there, scroll down to IP Settings and click Edit. This should bring up another screen. You will want to change the settings to manual and switch to IPv4 on. And change the preferred DNS to 1.1.1.1. Then change the alternate DNS to 1.0.0.1 and click Save. Since you've got your stream running better, tip 3 will take a turn and we will now be discussing how you look within your stream. One of the ways to make you look better within your stream is to fix your lighting. So let's go to an example. As you can see, this lighting is quite dark. Obvious ways to light your area better is to use a lamp, your overhead room light, or a natural light such as the sun coming through your window. However, in the media department, we use a thing called 3-point lighting that gives you a balanced lighting setup, making you look best. To achieve this without an expensive for now, just use your natural light as a key, your lamp as a backlight, and to achieve the fill, you can use a white poster board or a piece of cardboard wrapped with tinfoil and bounce the sunlight towards the shadow area of your face. Although natural light is a good way of light, don't place yourself in front of a window because it will give too much light behind you and make you a shadow. Another way to make you look better within your stream is to fix your headroom. The perfect amount of headroom is a small space between your head and the top of your frame. No one just wants to see your wall or just your lips. Perfect amount of headroom makes your audience feel like they are actually there with you discussing topics. For our last tip, we will be discussing audio. To get better audio, you can use headphones, or if you are streaming with Google Meets, you can attach your phone as a microphone to your computer. To do this, open your computer and get out your cell phone. This tip only works for class meetings, but to do it, click the button under Other Options, click Dial In, and put the number on your screen into your cell phone. Once you have done that, click the Call button. Then you will be prompted to put the pin in that is on your screen, followed with the pound symbol. You will then be redirected to your class meeting with your phone's audio. And that's all the tips I have for you today. I hope these tips have helped you or will help you in the future. Have a nice day. Bye!
Very informative, Alex. Now Eli can finally understand technology.
Well, now to go today's lead segment. Toby Van Winkle sat down virtually with 3 people. Miss Price, one of our guidance counselors, Miss Potts, a teacher, student council advisor, and a business owner, and Veronica Beverly Barron, a 2021 senior. They sat down and talked about mental health tools to help maneuver through these trying times. Here's what we're calling COVID health support.
Hello and welcome to Mental Health Matters. I'm your host, Toby. Today I'm on the line with Veronica Barron, Miss Price, and Miss Potts. The 4 of us will be talking about both mental and physical health during this COVID situation. Alrighty. Lincoln Park is a great school for students who fall into the mental disorder category, such as depression or anxiety. What are the guidance counselors doing to help students that are struggling right now?
I would like to say that I think, we're doing what we always do. We're just doing more of it, I think, and it's in a different format, meaning it's just, we're always looking to reach out to the students, responding to the students' needs. If there's, if they're having struggles, it's a little bit harder than walking down the hall and pulling them out of a class. It has to be much more intentional. It has to be set up usually ahead of time, or at least, I'll reach out with an email. Sometimes students respond, sometimes they don't. That makes it a little bit harder. But teachers do a really good job of letting us know, what they're seeing if somebody's struggling or who might need help. And then we can reach out from there. But like I said, it's an added layer. It's not as easy as just pulling somebody out of a class and having a dialogue. And for some, it's like, if I've never met the student, it can be awkward. If I'm sending an email saying like, hi, I'm your counselor, do you want to chat? And they've never met me, so I can't expect them to just open up and be comfortable right away.
Of course. Common Sense Media recently did a poll saying that 41% of students aren't showing up to their online classes. As a teacher, how do you get students engaged, let alone coming to class?
So I think the biggest thing, especially because I have all upperclassmen, is making sure that rather than stating the obvious all the time that, oh, this is different and everything's weird and blah, 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 just trying to be as normal as possible and keeping things engaging and being realistic with them. The more that they know that we are real people that they can reach out to and trust, the more apt they are to perhaps show up and do the work. So it's building that mutual respect. And let's be honest, high school in general, it's tough. And so this is adding a layer of difficulty to that. So I think just keeping things moving appropriately, keeping things as lively as possible, and just being down to earth and listening and talking and making sure that what you're doing, it should always be relevant, but really making sure that, we're not wasting any time and we're really getting down to what needs to be done and being as effective and efficient as possible.
Of course. You recently opened a fitness business that makes people stay healthy and boost their endorphins. Tell us how that's going and tell us how both physical and mental health coincide.
So my own journey kind of prompted my awareness of how important it really is, both for your physical and mental fitness, if you will. And took some online courses to become a personal trainer, got my nutrition certification. And so this idea of starting a little side hustle has been in the works, and quarantine just provided me the opportunity to really kind of push it off and get it going. And that's how Habitual Badass was born. And it has been thriving ever since, because people realize the importance of, moving your body and keeping yourself well in those areas. And I also bring that into the classroom a little bit. Sometimes in my classroom daily post, I might say, drink your water, move your body, or, what are you doing today? Even if it's just walking your dog, just getting that fresh air and moving around and really getting those, good vibes going that all of that does. So it's been great for me. It's been great for others.
Of course, that's wonderful. I love the name of your business. What are some things that negatively impact students' mental health during these COVID times?
Being inside all the time and not being able to have that social interaction that is very valuable. So whenever you don't get that, it can deteriorate your mental health over time. I think right now mental health has not been good for most people. It doesn't matter what age group you're in. And that's because we haven't been having that natural social interaction. We've been sticking inside and scrolling through social media, which obviously over time that's not good. And it overall will just deteriorate your mental health. And I think we really need to step back and examine that and examine what we do on a day-to-day basis that is not healthy for us and finding alternatives that are healthier.
Of course, I definitely agree with that. So there seems to be a stigma about talking about mental health in social circles, school, anything really. How do you propose that we can communicate to normalize talking about mental illness in both school and social circles?
To be honest, my best grade was in Mrs. Potts' class, and that's because every single class she would ask a question and I would answer a question, and that got me engaged in the rest of the class, like she said. So being more realistic helps a lot, and also just offering help. For some reason, people think academic teachers can't offer help to their students mentally. It shouldn't be like that because it is a learning environment, and they need to take that into consideration, and they need to set up days where we can talk about how we're all feeling, and maybe even setting up activities where we can better our health and bring our education and health, like kind of combine them together and make a positive environment that's so valuable. And we need to have that understanding from teachers that we may lack on assignments. So we all need to understand each other, and communication is probably the biggest factor in this.
Of course, I 100% agree with you. Thank you three so much for joining me to talk about both mental and physical health. I hope everybody who watched this found this really helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Really appreciate everyone's contributions, Toby. Truly an enlightening segment.
You know, that really corona'd my virus.
Anyways, a reminder. At the end of the show, we'll be providing some links from today's In the Park episode. Now to move on to one of our more entertaining segments. It's giving us an inside look to the world of Lincoln Park and all the secrets it has to offer.
It's Tino time.
Good evening, or morning, or whatever time it is to you folks, and welcome to the first episode of Tino Time. I am your host, Cameron Tino, and you tuned in just in time to hear the Tino Time welcome song. Hi. Thank you. Tino Time is your source for the wacky stories at Lincoln Park that the school doesn't want to talk about. We certainly missed a lot of crazy things that happened last year, such as the brilliant idea of hosting a party in the bathroom. Wow. I wonder how it smells in there. Students here at LPAX have been exercising their creative potential by making some truly amazing pieces of art. So we sent our representative, Dominic Petrucci, to Washington, PA to report on one student's bizarre project.
I have explored many hobbies over quarantine. I think we all have. But most of them range from painting to drawing to music. And of all the hobbies I've seen people do, none are more bizarre and interesting than that of Kylan Bjornson's.
That there, that's what you call beautiful.
Since Kylan is making a project unlike anything else in quarantine, I had to understand why he was doing this.
I think it's all about finding something that you're good at. I can participate in this and not get upset when I get things wrong or when I mess things up, and I think that's a very important part.
I found after sitting down with Kylan that this was not an act of madness, but a very inspirational act of ingenious.
This is a culmination of all of the negative energy that I've had throughout all of quarantine. And I think people need to take their negative energy and do the same thing. Not even building a shelter, but I mean, hell, try to write a song.
No matter how bizarre, maybe if we find something we're passionate about, we can make a truly amazing work of art.
If you've been on Instagram, you have to have noticed Alpac's unofficial themed meme accounts posting memes like this meme shown. Biggest meme account at one point being Alpac's Media Memes. Sadly, LP Media Memes was taken down and has refused to talk about it. Until today! I have booked for you some stellar minds in the comedy world. Alpac's Classrooms and Alpac's Media Memes.
I am egregiously talented, and the fact that I just have so much exceptionalness bubbling up inside of me as Classrooms. Hey, you shut up. I mean, Alpac's Classrooms wasn't even meant to be a comedy thing from the start. It started as more of a movement. I mean, I was trying to make some social change and really see, what's going wrong in the world. There's people dying, there's people starving. So I was like, at Alpax_crushes is an account. At Alpax_beef is an account. So why can't there be Alpax_classrooms where we appreciate the lowest of the low?
What makes you so hilariously funny?
I'm extremely funny. You see.
Can I freestyle it?
Oh, please, be my guest. I'll mute myself.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, one day, I woke up and I decided to make an account for Alpax Classrooms.
Do you see anyway that meme accounts at Alpax can continue? Do you see, how? While being approved in school and also being funny?
There's one way.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you there. That was too far. Please shut your camera off. I'm tired of seeing you. Thank you for watching at home. Tino time. We might have missed some wacky stories going on at Lincoln Park. If you know anything you want covered on Tino time that's happening at Lincoln Park, please Gmail your stories to itstinoTime@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.
Wow.
I have no words. It was so special.
Well, that's all we have for you for your Lincoln Park and COVID-19 show.
We hope this informed you, or at least made you laugh a little.
Yep, our producers are already working on our next episode. I know I'm pretty excited. How about you, Camille?
Definitely. And remember, these are hard times for everyone. If you're struggling or you need any help, please reach out. We all need to stick together during these times. I'm Camille Kerr.
And I'm Eli Lishak. Thank you for joining us.
Have a marvelous March.